this camera off. Cause listen, that's step one. Always get that glare off of there. Let me go ahead and cut this dry off real quick, cause technically I should have done that before I got started, but right. Look, cut your camera off. Turn it around. You don't need to be being out and see all the people. Don't forget you. There you go. Let me see if y'all dry. Okay, y'all. Have a little gas. Ain't nobody in here. I ain't worried about it. Pull my table back up real quick. I got on two of them undergarments. Close my robe up so people can know I wear the same thing every day. And we had this hair out earlier today, and it's still a mess from earlier. I was on this channel, this website, Artlist. I thought it was royalty-free music. That's what I thought. I went live yesterday on Mrs. Mind Games, and I'm trying to figure out how I got all those copyright claims. Listen, look, at this point, I am over it. I am completely over it. I caught myself deleting the live streams 2-3 days ago. Trying to edit. I don't even know why I did that. Hello. I don't even know why I even caught myself doing that. For one, because I didn't document where the music had started. Then I found out slowed and reverb is protected under copyright. So I'm just, look, I just myself, okay, you know what? I'm just over it with the music. I'll just play it when I'm not on live. Because even if you go to a website where they have like royalty-free music that you can play, they'll still claim. I'm like, I'm not gonna be playing these games. Let me log in. Hello, and let me thumb myself up. Okay, I was, I see one on there. Cut that down. Cut that down. I don't need to hear myself. Let me log in and thumb myself up. Thank you for the thumbs up, whoever was that first. I appreciate it so very much. The thumbs ups are free. Thank you. But listen, let's just go to Tekashi. Y'all know who we're going to first. Let's just go to Daniel. Go on to Daniel.
Well, look,
Him in that cup.
beef with people.
Uh-oh.
When they die,
Uh-oh.
usually that beef stops.
Uh-oh.
It stopped. I'm just stating facts.
You said when King Von gets killed, you said rest in piss, and you hope he's burning in hell.
King Von said, when I die, my niggas is on slaughter you dead. Cat, nigga. That shit is cat. Who slipped for King Von yet? That nigga rest in fucking piss, nigga. Alright, cool. Alright, so what's your question? You tell me what I said. I know I said that.
Was that necessary?
Is it necessary? If I die, what they would say?
Depends on
Next
who you talk to.
question.
Ooh.
Next question, right?
Ooh.
Next question.
Well, you can't control what other people do. Why did you do it?
Why did I do it?
Yeah.
Bro,
Uh-oh. Glasses
where
off.
you at right now?
Your house?
Right?
Yeah.
Florida.
if these rappers, right? No, Vlad, I want you to look at me. This is a human
Look,
to
here
human
we go.
conversation, right?
Look at me. So demanding.
These rappers have nothing to do with my case. Since I came home, they've been very vocal, opinionated on my case.
Okay, opinionated.
Called me a rat, saying, please don't play that little boy in the club. Please not listen, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's King Von.
Right?
No, I mean, that's Lil Durk.
But Lil Durk, right here, man, is who?
King Von.
King Von went on Twitter and posted these Twitters that he said he has nothing to do with my case.
Right. Uh-oh. Sorry, that wasn't me. I was
When
trying
you
to-
try to get
Hey,
masses,
thank you for
your
the
fans
thumbs
to stop
up.
listening to my music, right? It cuts into my money, right?
Does it really?
No,
though?
no,
Uh-oh.
Vlad, I'm telling
I don't know about that. I almost think it's publicity.
It's publicity.
Yeah.
It gets people to be like, yo, if this nigga's not listening to it, we not gonna listen to it, right? You're taking food out my family's mouth, no matter how you look at it. I don't get. Listen, I'm standing on it. I'm not taking it back.
Okay,
Look
fair
at me,
enough.
that I stand on it.
I think
Look where
publicity
you
is
at.
publicity.
Look where you at. This is my house, right?
Yes.
I got bills, right?
Yes.
When you try to take food out my family's mouth, everything comes off the table. I do not give a fuck. Now, I'm telling you, I'm standing on it. You get what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me ask you something, right? And clip this. I want people to clip this. Say it again. When people die, the beef, what?
Usually you stop beefing with people.
Usually stop beefing.
Yes.
What about all those Chicago rappers that don't got mainstream status like King Von did? Why they diss the dead in their songs all the time?
Oh,
I think it's foul.
Huh?
I think it's foul for them to do that.
So why condemn me on it? They doing it.
Yeah. I don't like when anyone does it. I don't like when
Okay,
anyone
okay.
does it. In
So-
fact, and I'll just say this.
No, but-
I was cool with Fulio before he died, and I hated that he was doing it.
Okay.
And it ultimately,
Was-
I think, got him killed.
Was King Von doing it?
Yes,
Huh?
I believe so.
He was, right?
I believe so,
Why
yeah.
you question me about it if he's doing it?
uh-oh.
Okay, but you're your own person.
Because two wrongs
Next.
don't make a right.
Two wrongs don't make a right.
Right.
Was he doing it?
Yes.
Was Lil Durk doing it?
Yes,
Do people continue to do it?
yes.
Next question.
Doesn't mean that you have to do
Can
it.
I put my glasses back on?
He's so spotty. You gotta love it.
Our prize picks lineup
Look.
is going off, Mark.
All right, let me see who up next. You know we had to come and catch up with Tekashi for the day because we're not a Vlad member, so we can't watch it in its full capacity just yet. What happened? What happened yesterday? I'm trying to see what happened with Pam Bondi. I know Rotten Mango, whatever her name is, she went to court. Luigi Mangione. Let me see.
Donald Trump's Attorney General Pam Bondi
Right.
appears to be both pissed
Ooh.
and scared. In
Ooh.
many ways, Donald Trump kind of outed her in a way that I think she's livid about because she doesn't have absolute immunity the way the Supreme Court on many issues gave Donald Trump absolute immunity. And I think Pam Bondi is keenly aware that her aiding and abetting a lot of Donald Trump's unlawful behavior makes her someone that people could be raising questions about in the future about
For sure,
executing
implication.
unlawful orders potentially. So when Donald Trump
Threw her under the
posted
bus?
on social
Uh-oh.
media
What did he
a
say?
few weeks back at this point,
Oh.
Pam, I need you to go after my
Sure.
political opponents. I
Yes.
need you to go after
Right.
New York Attorney General Letitia James
Right,
and
and he did. Now, he did do that. He definitely did that.
James Comey and Senator Schiff and others. She was livid, and the most recent reporting though was that Donald Trump did not mean to post that publicly.
On September 20th, Trump meant to send a private message to Attorney General Pam Bondi urging her to prosecute former FBI Director James Comey and his other favored targets. According to U.S. officials familiar with the matter, quote, "We can't delay any longer. It's blanking our reputation and credibility," Trump wrote. Trump believed he had sent Bondi the message directly, addressing it to Pam, and was surprised to learn it was public. The official said Bondi grew upset and called White House aides and Trump, who then agreed to send a second post, right? We remember this, praising Bondi as doing a, quote, great job. The misfire provided a window into how, through command and chaos, Trump has executed a wholesale transformation of the Justice Department.
And in many ways, that makes it worse for Attorney General Pam Bondi, because there are serious questions about how are they communicating with each other? Where are these?
Well, I believe that we recently discovered that Trump doesn't run his social media. So when we see like tweets and whatever he be doing on Truth Social, whatever that is, or wherever that's at, we just recently discovered that that's not necessarily him, particularly typing it out, the way we do. He has someone that does that for him. We recently found that out when he was at some meeting. I don't know, I can't remember which one. He been active recently, trying to get this peace deal between Israel and Gaza. And so there was something, I don't know if that meeting was pertaining to that specifically, but remember we saw somebody had passed the letter and was like, hey, we need to post this peace deal, or so
Communicate.
but even still, if I told you to send that to her and tell her how you posted it on Truth, oh my goodness.
And from the Wall Street Journal report, by the way, a Rupert Murdoch property,
Of course.
Donald Trump was trying to communicate with Pam Bondi
Right.
via direct message
Right.
on Truth Social, on Trump's private social.
Oh, I see. So he was trying to send her a private message via Truth Social, and I guess he ended up posting it. Well, let him finish.
Company. Trump's private account
Right.
on a private company
Right.
that's now traded on the stock exchanges,
Oh.
that Donald Trump makes money, that
Public.
Trump has a contract with
Okay.
in order to help Truth Social make money. Trump, as
Sure.
a private citizen, Trump agreed to make the posts first and kind of almost exclusively on Truth Social.
Sure.
And so now the question becomes, in the cases that are being filed now by Lindsay Halligan, Donald Trump's former personal lawyer, who's now become a federal prosecutor, leading the Eastern District of Virginia, despite her never even being a prosecutor before in her entire life.
Do you want to know where to invest
That's
$1,000 right now?
interesting. He made headlines every day, so you really gotta love this guy. You really gotta love this guy. He make headlines every single day. He can be quiet for 2-3 days and still make headlines. Oh my goodness. What happened? Where he at? Is he okay? Like, people can't be quiet for a few days. Got to love that Donald Trump. Got to love him.
Discoverable, like when James Comey files his vindictive prosecution motion and outrageous grand jury conduct motion and or grand jury abuse, outrageous government conduct motion, and he seeks discovery. Is he going to go for those direct communications? I'm sure that's not the only message. Are there a treasure trove of direct messages on Truth Social between Pam Bondi and Donald Trump there? And
That's
I
an
think
interesting
it puts
question.
Pam Bondi out there as something that she did not want the appearance of. I think she was okay hiding it. We saw earlier this week when she was when she testified under oath
Sure.
before the Senate.
Right.
You know, she was willing to, she had her scripted lines attacking each of the Democratic
Child, listen.
senators. Well, you are Antifa and you're
Right,
this. I'm
right.
not going to answer. I
Right.
would never talk about those communications. So she understood the assignment in terms of trying to avoid perjury.
Sure.
And trying to
Ooh, good one.
avoid accountability by
Right.
just saying, I'm not going to tell you, which again is fairly unprecedented. It's an oversight.
Gotta love her.
You're obligated to tell in normal situations that
Sure.
would pretty much get you fired as the attorney general. I can't even imagine
Basically.
if another AG performed the way she did at,
Right.
at that hearing.
Real spotty,
But
honey.
now, is this discoverable information? Is this going to come out eventually? Does this link Pam Bondi to Trump's orders in ways that, I mean, if this was discovered through investigative journalism in the past, it would bring down an entire administration like that. And I understand, you know, in this Trump dictatorship, things are handled differently and viewed differently, but I want to turn it over to Harry Litman from the Talking Feds YouTube channel.
Only time will tell. I'll just leave it at that. I'm not gonna sit here and try to keep speculating with Midas touch. I'm like, only time will tell. They are running the administration the way they want to run the administration. And it's basically y'all fault. Y'all let him back into the White House with this chip on his shoulder. And this whatever vendetta he has against whoever. I'm like, y'all did it. Y'all let him back in there. So why y'all mad? I don't understand. I'm confused. No way y'all supposed to be mad. Look, MAGA Mike. That's the best one I done heard right there. That MAGA Mike. But I ain't finna even go over there with him either, because I just came to see what really was online for today, because we need to figure out who's Charlie Kirk. Candace is on break. She on vacation. And we don't know how long she's gonna be on vacation. She was just like, just try to, you know, jumping through all these conspiracy theories. Here go another one. Trigger smart. Kirk assassination. Neck wound not from a bullet. Let me see what he's talking about.
But this is
Let me
going
see.
way too slow. Let's go ahead and get these troops. Oh my goodness.
I'm
That is
telling
so-
man,
Hello and
listen.
welcome back to Trigger Smart. I'm here today to do a Charlie Kirk analysis. This time it is not my analysis. Someone contacted me, a subscriber, and gave me a very extremely detailed breakdown of their interpretation of what happened. And to date, I have not heard anyone else with this particular story.
Okay, let me
There's a
see.
pretty good chance that no one else has approached it from this angle before.
Okay, go
So make
ahead.
sure you stay tuned.
Yeah,
Now
I
I'm
ain't
going to pull
going
this up
nowhere.
directly from their email.
Oh,
Ultimate explanation of Charlie shot
why
case,
you
word from autopsy.
block the email out like that? Why you just put all the business all out there like that? You could have put a. Go
Finds the
ahead.
front wound, pinpoints the shooter, new images, all resources in one
Just put up my email out there like that. You could have blurred it out or something.
email. This is from kalakukul.proton.me. This is a final explanation of the backshot case. It explains the stuck bullet as per the autopsy, as well as a front wound, pinpoints the probable shooter, and is better structured and contains more detailed images, notes, and resources in a single email. So here's the events, according to him or her. A dark car in the tunnel behind Charlie, little to the observer's left, opens the trunk seconds before the shot. Bullet comes from the back to his head, mostly horizontal, little from observer's left. The bullet hits the occipital bone, which is dense and inclined 45 degrees to the horizontal direction at that spot. It ricochets down and travels between the scalp and the skull at around 80-degree angle. And yes, we are going to look at visuals. At that time of the impact, there was a puff of air, as shown by video more below, lifting the back collar and blowing the back of the shirt, which occurs before any neck cavitation. So he's talking about when the shirt in the front goes up.
Sure.
And then also, it looks like a big puff of air, or maybe if the bullet actually went through and hit in the back, and that bulges out as well. The air gets trapped under the shirt and spreads. It travels downwards in the back, also over the shoulders and to the front. Now, previously people said this was from an explosion from his mic, and I think that's kind of been debunked, mostly because when you see the supposed explosion, you do see what looks like maybe some smoke or something else. But the problem is, if there was an explosion, it would go out or it would go away, right? Assuming that that actually shot something or did something to his neck. So that's kind of been debunked just from that point of view. Number 6, the bullet starts damaging vertebrae processes at C2, bounces off a vertebrae around C5, damages the rest of the cervical vertebrae through C7, and stops between T1 and the skin, which is in line with the leaked autopsy. The bullet traveling
When
down
did the autopsy get leaked? When did the autopsy get leaked? I'm confused.
the neck is causing cavitation and rapid neck swelling, which we did see. So in a lot of the shots, you see that the neck and the head actually both seem to swell pretty
Instantly.
significantly, which lengthens the necklace, yanking its front upwards. That whips the cross pendant violently towards Charlie's front side of his neck, apparent by the momentary spike on the shirt on many videos, and we'll see that here in a minute. The cross pendant causes the widely observed front wound, which is much larger than an entry from a clean bullet. So a lot of people said this looks like a typical exit wound. Many thought it was an entrance wound. This person is saying that the pendant, which we'll get to this, the pendant, when the shirt goes up, it's the pendant that goes into his neck and then possibly even comes back out. Can we see this in slow motion? I don't know. I haven't looked through all the videos yet, so let's do this together. The chain breaks in the front, and therefore it flies to the side and backwards, probably yanked the pendant out of the wound again, further enlarging the wound, turning it into both an entry and exit wound, which might explain the way that it looks. It doesn't look like a typical gunshot exit wound. Typically it'd be much bigger, a lot more damage. The vein trunk is closed again right after the shot. All right, so now according to this person, basically what's happening is there's someone behind Charlie, behind the stage, at a certain angle, which we'll see in these images coming up. And they took a shot and hit him from behind, and then it bounced around in those vertebrae, and the impact and the way it hit in the cavitation of his neck from the bullet going down, that bulged everything. And then part of that also was making his shirt come up, and then it whipped his pendant into his neck. Now, does it seem a little far-fetched? I don't know. When we start looking at these images, I think it'll make a lot more sense than some of the other stuff that we've been looking at. So now we're going to get into the bullet trajectory.
Well, this is the first time I've heard about a van. Vans don't have trunks. I mean, well, you're right. You're right. Let me not say that. I was thinking about the vans, not the caravans. Good sleepy already.
The bullet has been reported found under the skin. Chances it would enter the neck directly from the front, go through a vertebrae, and stop right behind it are low. And it would not damage the rest of the vertebrae, as the previously communicated findings suggest. Good point. The
I'm
bullet
trying to figure out who leaked the autopsy and what is that, because I ain't even heard about it.
was actually traveling downwards along the spine. The front wound is explained further below. So now I'm definitely gonna have to zoom this out.
All right, oh, yeah.
Okay, so this is kind of the structure. So again, this shot would come from behind the tent, right? So in this case, and we'll talk about this here in a second, he actually brings it up.
We're talking about a shot coming from behind the tent. He had a backdrop behind him. there was a backdrop behind him. They're trying to make it seem like the shot came directly behind him. He had the Turning Point USA backdrop literally behind him. So there's no possible. I don't see that as
Is he shooting
being
through
possible.
the tent itself? Because you can't
See what
through
I
that
mean?
tent, it's semi-transparent. Or
Am I
was
tripping?
it just the right angle? And I think it's the right angle from behind. This isn't up behind.
Am I tripping? You still wouldn't have been able to. Well, it was white, so technically that would kind of make it. What's that word? Translucent, not transparent, but I think it's translucent. I think that's the word. Like when you can see the silhouette with white. But we would have saw the impact from the backdrop. It would have moved. There would have been a bullet hole in it or something. I know for a fact we would have saw it like
The building
Let me
shot
let
that they
him
were talking
finish.
about before. This is directly behind him.
Right.
So in this case, it comes, hits the occipital lobe, bounces down, breaks a couple vertebrae on the way, and then it's lodged there under the skin. Now this makes sense. It's hitting the back, coming here, but everyone's going to ask again, well, what about that wound in the front?
That we saw,
Well, that's
right.
where this gets really interesting and actually why it made me want to do this video. Right before the impact, without any disturbances, you can see, let me zoom in again here. You can see that everything looks normal. His neck is not swollen, his shirt's not flying up.
Right.
The bullet likely came through the backdrop. These backdrops are usually perforated or semi-transparent, especially when you look from the darker side to the brighter side, the curtain effect. Even from the sunny side, you can make out people walking behind the backdrop
Look,
when Charlie speaks.
I just said that.
And then we have a short here to look at.
I just said
Now,
that.
this is the short that he's talking about. He's saying you can see through it.
I just
So let's check it out and see if
let's
it's
see
true.
what she talk right, because I'm like, let me see.
Yep, you can see a person right there. And I believe one walks across. We'll see here in a minute. Right there. Someone's walking across. Another one right there.
I wouldn't do this unless I were struggling with memory lapses.
It's not that I don't want this theory to be correct. This is the first time I've heard of a van being involved. So luckily we can let Tyler on the roof go. We can just let that go. We can just let it go. Just let it go. It didn't happen. He wasn't even there. So let it go. But I believe that this is the first time that I've heard about a van being involved. This is quite interesting. Oh, cut it off.
They can see right through that thing. So if someone were shooting from behind, they'd have a clear
Right.
shot. All right. So from the tunnel, it would be easy to make out Charlie either completely, clearly, or at least very least an outline against the sunlit audience without any need of some fancy live camera.
But then hold on, wait, because we can't just negate the fact that they're talking about a van in the tunnel, which of course that would have been blocked off, right? Because no one should have technically been allowed to even park in that specific area except for Charlie Kirk, Turning Point USA maybe officials, law enforcement. Like no random van should just, like, so I'm curious to know how we just got this unmarked random vehicle in the tunnel.
Feed. So he's saying from the back, they would basically see a silhouette of Charlie.
The silhouette.
The bullet entering the back of his head, lifting the scalp
Ooh.
and dragging the skin up. So in a lot of the videos you see on the back, you see his hair go up and you see his skin go up. And people are saying that's because he was shot supposedly from the upper right behind, which makes no sense if this is all going up, right? So that wasn't explained. That doesn't cover that one. It also doesn't explain if there was an explosion from the mic in the front, that it went up. It also doesn't explain if he was shot from the front, did the back of his hair and everything went up. So none of that fits, except this does make sense if he's shot directly in the back of the head. The bullet entered the back of the head, as apparent from his hairline, drags the skin up and away. The bullet is now traveling under his scalp. Now remember, the coroner, or from the autopsy, found the bullet under his skin. So the scalp was firmly attached to the skull. Therefore, decapitation in that area can be smaller and more rapid than in the neck. Mid-air bullets don't usually create any air turbulence, but the impact and rapid change of direction made that happen. Also, the bullet might have started to tumble when going through the backdrop, which added to the effect, and that's true. So if it was a AR-15, because I know this wasn't a 30-06, no matter what angle it was shot from.
And Candace went ahead and let us know. Well, I guess that does kind of make sense. If she found out that the gun or the bullet wasn't from a 30-06, that would make it a leaked autopsy, huh? I guess that does kind of make sense. I'm just trying to figure out why the feds are telling us one narrative and then we have to do our own due diligence and find all of these random whistleblowers everywhere. I'm just trying to figure out, how do they plan on convincing the world, not even the world, the jury at this point? How are they going to convince the jury to convict Tyler? It's almost like we gotta solve the case before he go to trial and taint the jury. I mean, but then again, it's like, what juror you gonna find that's, is it a jury trial or is it a bench trial? I guess I need to figure that out, huh? I probably need to figure that part out anyway. I'm just saying, because I'm not really feeling this. I'm not really feeling this here. And I mean, we have to give our props to Candace for sure, for having the platform to speak about it and, you know, do her own due diligence. But a lot of us just sort of already had this inkling that something isn't right about this entire ordeal. Just the simple fact that they allow for it to be public, you know, I mean, it's devastating to know how many people were at this event that are going to be very traumatized. Not even just for a very long time, but probably for the rest of their lives. I mean, the students there, obviously, just now the history of this college, you know, it'll I don't know how long it's been there, but I can guarantee you, listen, you can renovate all you want to, and you can pour you some new concrete, and, you know, you can plant you some new flowers all you want to, but when you have this type of traumatic event that happen on your campus, there's an expiration date just ticking now. Unfortunately, that's just how karma works. And so, you know, we really should pray for the people that were there and that had to endure seeing this. It's a lot of footage out there that people probably don't even want to share with the public and upload just because they'll have to, you know, relive it and look at it and stuff like that. Candace brought up a great point as well. We just always get that right side. We never get any footage from the left side. Like, I've yet to see any footage from the left side. But I just feel so bad for all the people that were at this event that had to experience such a traumatic event live and in person. People who were recording and, you know, like just thinking that this was going to be a safe place to be. I mean, it was nice. It was sunny. Looked like there were no clouds in the sky. Like everything just looked really nice. I feel like I heard that narrative so many times with people on 9/11 and how everybody just was just saying how beautiful the day was. No clouds in the sky. It was just so beautiful and so nice. And it's the same thing. Like, it's people that are still traumatized by, you know, 9/11. And look, what's that, about 20 years ago. So, what we need to do, what we have to do, what we must do is make sure that even if we don't get to the bottom of it in our lifetime, that's why we got YouTube. So, you know, the next generation that comes up, excuse me, we need to figure out what happened to Charlie Kirk. Because one thing we can't do is we can't keep allowing our government officials to, like, this is just getting very disrespectful, if you ask me. Like, you see how Pam Bondi up there acting. You see how Kash Patel up there acting. You see how Donald Trump is up there acting. I mean, it is just a complete shit show. Complete and total shit show, for sure. And it's very unfortunate. But at the same time, you kind of appreciate it because it just exposes it. It just completely exposes everybody. Everybody in Congress, from the Senate to the House, everybody. And look, child, it started with Epstein, Lord. It started with Epstein. Imagine that. Let him
They would have probably
finish.
exploded his head, not to be too graphic.
Right.
But
Or 30 says that's what
here
everybody kept saying.
very clearly compared to that earlier picture. So his back of his head is basically a straight line,
Sure.
right? No cavitation. You come down here, you can see clearly, I mean, all of his hair and his skin and everything is sticking out there. There's a lot of pressure and also a lot of pressure
protruded.
here. So it seems as though something came in from this direction and hit very
Causing
hard.
that.
Now remember, if it came from this direction and also hit the vertebrae, that would explain the seizing and things that he did as well, because it would have immediately incapacitated his spine. The puff of air gets trapped under his shirt, traveling away from its source down, and also spreads around the shoulders to the front. which makes sense because the air would get trapped inside of his shirt and it would have nowhere to escape, so it would move around. The cavitation occurs in his neck, and the neck expansion whips the necklace up violently. It breaks and flies backwards. So you can see that here. A lot of people said it was his earpiece. Now, I can't, from this picture, I can't definitively say if this is an earpiece or a necklace. I do know that these earpieces were supposedly clear.
Excuse me.
So I'm not sure how well you would see it, or if you would see it this well like you do here. But this person is saying that the expansion whips the necklace up violently and it breaks and flies backwards. Now there's a source on that.
Generating tremendous kinetic energy, and yet he doesn't seem to be moving backward. What I'm saying is something with barely enough kinetic energy to penetrate his neck hit him, and just like when you throw a baseball at a bed sheet, it creates a little. Unfortunately, this app doesn't give me precise control of frame by frame.
No.
Are you wearing so many layers you can't even fit inside your head? You need the new 300.
Oh, I just want to go back one frame. Let me see if I can go back one frame here. Now, see all of this here, whatever that is, like they're saying most likely his necklace. You'll see the frames before, there's no earpiece.
Right.
I mean, look, there's the earpiece is clear, granted, right? Supposedly. But if you look here, I mean, I can't, can I zoom in on this? Let me see if I can zoom in on this. Yeah, I can't really zoom. It looks like from where I'm sitting, there's nothing on his ear. There's nothing in his ear. There's nothing coming down from the side of his head.
Right.
There is no earpiece.
Sure.
Okay, so now,
Which is true. There was no earpiece. I believe we confirmed that a while ago. That he did not have on an earpiece, nor did he have on any protective gear, such as a bullet proof vest. There was no bulletproof vest or anything like that. And just to be clear, it's 12:53 Eastern Standard Time. If you, the yawn.
he's talking about that bullet again coming from the back and hitting him in the back of the head,
Right.
right? In the occipital lobe, which explains this sonic shockwave or whatever the technical term is for that. You can see all the skin and everything cavitating, moving, and expanding, and then you see pressure in his shirt. Now, if he got shot from the front, it went through his neck. It doesn't explain any of this. If he got shot from the upper right behind his ear and
Right.
it came out through the other side, like the shooter up on the building,
Right.
that doesn't explain this. If it was the explosion on the
Come
front from the
on.
pager or from the mic 2,
But we're missing a very interesting point here, because now we have to figure out why Tyler Robinson. Like, I'm very interested to know why Tyler. How did we get to Tyler? Something just isn't adding up. You know, like something just isn't adding up when it comes to that Tyler Robinson. Because it's like, even if he was a patsy, that still means that he was some way, somehow implicated in a way. Just like George Zinn. I'm like, if you were a patsy, then you still knew what was up, or what was about to happen, or what was, or maybe you didn't. Maybe you thought it was something else. I'm not necessarily sure, because George Zinn stood up and his pants fell down. I'm like,
mic 2, that doesn't explain this either. So none of those other options explain this.
Brain. Well, again, I'm not a neurosurgeon. I'm just saying I feel like his brain is back here. And if something hits him right back here, it's more likely to damage his brain than this thing bouncing off of his chest and exploding and doing all these crazy things you're talking about. So I think this is a pressure event at the back of the shirt. And his hair flips up. And then in the next frame of this, the hair has relaxed as if there's been some really
And then you can see the chain.
action right there at the back of his head. The thing is now through his neck, disrupting the shirt, and he's over. He's dead by here. His arms are up. His brain has been damaged.
So as you can see there,
And you can
there's clearly
see,
not an earpiece.
so
I mean,
I don't know why I'm tapping on his paws. We have people over there on the left side. We have people with their camera. Now I got one chick, she's looking down. I got another chick, she got her camera up, but it with the glasses half on, half off. We don't have that many people with their cameras out, but I see a few people with their cameras out. But you, it's their reaction when that is some people that are traumatized, and those are the people who we don't hear. Those where's the Reddit thread for the people that were there and are experiencing PTSD? That's because I don't hear them talking. I don't hear people talking about them being there and how traumatizing that was for them, and how they're waking up in the middle of the night, night sweats and stuff like that, and they're having a hard time coping. They're overindulging in substance abuse. They're going to therapy. They may need therapy. Where are those people at? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Like,
if there is, it's the clearest earpiece I've ever seen, and you can
move
see
away
on his
from the
actual
earpiece
ear.
and stop
But
talking
when
about
this
it.
shot happens, you can see something clearly go up, which everyone's saying here is the chain. All right, so up to this point, they're saying he got shot from behind in the back of the head, through the tent, because you can see through it, as we've proven. And then he got hit in the back of the head and the chain went up, not an earpiece. And the way the back of his head cavitated and the shirt cavitated, none of the other methods explain that, except being hit directly in the back of the head. That also explains him seizing instantly. Now let's keep going. This is the part where it gets really interesting to me. This is what made me want to do this video.
Warning, that's not a real military ab stimulator. This is. See the difference? Those Amazon knockoffs,
Because I was like, so if this is all true, how do you explain the wound in the front? Charlie was wearing a cross pendant on his neck. You can see the outline under his shirt in the following photo. So you can see very clearly where this blue arrow is. There's a pendant there, and you can see his necklace leading down on both sides, coming to this pendant. So this is what's supposedly going to be the object that causes the issue. The cross pendant he had on the neck gets yanked up by the necklace due to the neck cavitation towards the front of Charlie's neck, dragging the shirt with it, causing the large wound under the shirt. When he's saying under the shirt, he's talking about when the shirt goes up. So when the shirt goes up, the pendant goes up, and he's saying, well, we'll get to it. The necklace probably yanks the pendant out again as the necklace flies backwards, worsening the wound. So what he's saying in this instance is that the shirt comes up, the pendant comes with it. The pendant is what sticks him in the neck, and that's why you see such a strange-looking exit wound, or whatever you want to call it. And a lot of people were trying to explain this based on the, earlier when some people were saying he had body armor and it bounced off, maybe that deformed the bullet or something, because it's such a strange wound. But this kind of would explain that. If that pendant goes up into his neck, and also in this case possibly getting yanked out, that would explain why he had some blood initially kind of spray and then just kind of drip down. Also the fact that he got hit directly in the vertebrae, severed his spine, would have stopped his heart, so there wouldn't be blood constantly pumping out. And again, I apologize if it's kind of graphic. I'm not going to show any of that stuff. So you can see here, this would be when the wound
Cause the pendant to.
is created.
That's tough.
See if I can zoom in a little bit here. So this would be when the wound's being created under the shirt.
By the
right?
pendant.
And then when the shirt comes back down, then it exposes the wound. There's an apparent after effect of Charlie just getting slapped in his left cheek with the necklace, his tissue on his left cheek is still yet to fully expand back. So you can see here, you see that? See how it's kind of caved in? Right there. So he's saying that the chain hit him in the face. And at the same time, this would be when the pendant, which I would assume is a cross in this case, would go in and out of his neck, basically. After the shirt collar drops down, it reveals the wound, which you can see right there. He gets shot in the back of the head, cavitation. Very rapidly, the neck expands, and possibly maybe he hit the chain directly, and that force not only basically kills him instantly, but it also creates a situation where his necklace and pendant has so much inertia that it goes into his neck, and then when it comes back out, that's when we see the bleeding and everything else that was in the video. Now, this is another very interesting part, because everyone's talking about these people that were just kind of hanging out, including his bodyguards, right? Saying they were doing hand signs and they were grabbing things and moving things and doing some suspicious activity. And one guy was wearing sunglasses and looked like he actually took a picture, for example. But this is a whole different point of view coming up here. And again, I did this video because all of this stuff is so intriguing to me. Now here's where we get into a conspiracy theory area. So seconds before the shot, the car trunk behind Charlie got opened. There seems to be a dark, bulky, round head of a person standing at the trunk as it is opening, which is right there. And there's a vehicle back there, a couple vehicles back there. Once open, the head disappears. It's not visible anymore. It doesn't seem the person left to the sides of the car. So the person gets out of the car and just kind of hangs out there. And you can see we have the different security guys standing up there with him, and he's right here. So you can see his shoulder right in that spot. And then you see the person kind of disappears, but they don't walk off, right? So they're just hanging out somewhere in the dark back there. All right, so right after the shot, the trunk of the car in the tunnel behind Charlie. So remember, the car's back there. Their head popped up. They don't leave, but they're still in that general area. The trunk of the car in the tunnel behind Charlie that got opened just seconds before the shot is now shut again. So the car, someone gets out of the car, they kind of crouch, or they're just hanging out there, and we'll see another angle here in a second. And then seconds after the shot's done, then the trunk closes. So the trunk is opened up here, right? So seconds before the shot, the trunk opens. Someone seems to get out. Trunk is open. And then here, now the trunk is closed. And that's just seconds after the shot. Some people are fleeing towards the car. There's two people calmly standing at the car, each one at one side of the trunk. When seeing that he's being filmed, the guy instinctively raises his hands to his face and forehead, as you can see here. And glimpses of the other person in the car corner, or the corner of the car, who seemed to direct people away from the trunk to the side of the car with his hand. So this person here is trying to get people away from the trunk. I don't know if someone's in there or what's going on, but if the shooter was in there, then that would explain why he's doing that. He's trying to take attention away from that area.
And this car, that's so ironic. Look, I get all caught up. It's so ironic because this car is like, I mean, mere feet away from the backdrop. Like when you see the trunk of the car, this car that they're talking about, and the two people that's on each side of the trunk. You know, you got one guy, I guess he noticed that he was being filmed, and he put his hand over his head. And then you got another guy, he's on the right side of the car, but of course, remember, we're on the trunk. We're at the trunk. And he's being filmed as well. And he puts his hand up and like, you know, kind of shooing him away. And you get to see the backdrop of the, whatever that banner is or whatever, you know, the backdrop. You get to see how close it is. Which of course kind of proves the theory that someone actually had to be closer. Now, whether he got shot from the front, from the back, we don't know. Like, we're still trying to figure that part out. But of course, this theory is from the back. And a trunk is now involved And that's very interesting because I was laying in the bed last night and there was this documentary that I didn't get to finish watching, and it showed up on my algorithm. I want to say it was a Saturday before 9/11, the week before, this Saturday before 9/11. So I think 9/11 was that Thursday, right? If I'm not mistaken, because 9/10 would have been that Wednesday. So the Saturday prior, this random video showed up about this guy confessing to JFK. Technically, that's where we were supposed to start, but
All right, and then you can see, we're going to see a very interesting thing here in a second. But you're seeing reflections of other people running around and a few people standing here, right? Kind of blocking the car, guarding the car.
see, yeah.
Now, in that video of people running for cover, they run past the car and hide behind it for a while. For 4 frames, it looks like there's something like the barrel of a gun pointing up and being put down within those 4 frames inside the car trunk. Now, the barrel definitely doesn't look like the person on the other side of the car. It looks like some object moving within the car. At one point, it also looks like the head of a person next to the barrel who's presumably holding the gun, standing upright on the floor of the car and gradually putting it down. That round, bulky object is similar to the head of the person that was standing near the trunk before the shot. And then there was something round and bulky, which could potentially be a person with a blanket over it. Now, if you look, this is what they're talking about. This looks like a some sort of suppressed firearm through the window here, right? And if I keep going down, here's a little bit better shot. So you see kind of a figure in here. And then you see what looks like, to me, looks like some sort of short AR-15 or something similar. It looks like it could be suppressed. Looks like it has handles and other things on it, maybe light. But some form of rifle possibly here, and then a person. And that's what they're saying here. And you can see it again there. This is the 4th frame, and you can clearly see a person sitting there inside that vehicle. Another shot. And then this is the person. You can see the seat, and then you can see hair. And you can see the person, kind of their head area right here. So you have people outside the car trying to prevent people from looking inside the car and being near the car. And you have someone clearly in the car that looks like they have
with no tent. No tent?
a firearm
Y'all got a rental car with no tent?
sitting with them in there. And this was just seconds after the shot. The end of the object is not totally different than the barrel of a PCP gun with a silencer adapter at the end. And the overall shape of a gun, possibly wrapped around with something, is apparently there. So they're saying some kind of device like this. At the end, maybe some kind of compensation. It doesn't look like a full suppressor, obviously, at least from this case. And then finally, there's Mr. Goodman, who might have found the projectile captured on video. Yes, it is technically possible, and everyone who knows videography knows that. It has to do with the shutter speed, which is independent of frame rate. What a coincidence to capture 3 similar shiny bugs or objects other than the projectile in a straight line right before the impact in line with Charlie's head in equal distance from each other, which if the bullet was coming at a steady rate, which it basically would at that range, then you're looking at the shutter cutting it in 3 equal slices. My whole explanation doesn't really need this point, but it's good to be aware of. So now what he's saying is, due to the frame rates of video and camera, that a bullet could theoretically be seen, and he's saying it got cut in 3 equal slices based on the frame rate and the bullet coming through. So we're going to take a look at that. All right, so now here we can see we have these 3 images, and these little white specks are supposed to be the bullet. Now this middle one looks larger than the other 2, but the first one and the third one definitely look like they could be a bullet. And they're coming from behind stage and coming towards the back of his head. Now, if this is the case, then all of this so far that we've talked about would make sense. And like you said, the frame rate of the camera would chop it up as it comes in. So if this had been further away, then we may see 6 or 7 of these that were split apart in that same straight line, right towards the back of his head, occipital lobe. And then as I'm going through all this and reviewing it, he actually sends me another email. And he says I might have just found the shooter's arm and elbow. It seems during the shot itself, he might have actually been next to the car. Let me zoom in here. Next to the car, lowered kneeling, elbow to the side when aiming a gun. See these images. So the same guy with the ponytail who was later calmly standing at the rear corner of the car after the shooting. That's number 1. So he's standing right here. And then we have number 2, a bulky, dark head of a person. That's the one who got out and shot. So now to me, this actually almost looks like a person wearing a mask, to be honest. It's really hard to tell, but definitely a person, definitely dark, standing next to another person. And then number 3, an elbow of a lowered, kneeling person sticking to the side as when aiming. So it looks like this person might have, maybe that's the elbow or the arm right there, holding the gun, aiming towards Charlie Kirk, who is sitting right here. This is all seconds before the shot. Trunk starts opening. Guy 1 starts adjusting his ponytail, taking up more space and providing more visual cover right here. The other person is now kneeling down right here. Head 2 is not visible anymore. Elbow 3 is still hanging in place there. You see it right there? Okay. Charlie Kirk sitting right here. Clear line of sight. Neither one of his guards is looking behind. They're putting all their effort forward, even though they didn't have snipers on the roof, and they kind of missed that whole thing. There's a pretty good chance the shot didn't come from the roof, according to what this is saying. Elbow 3 moving around slightly right here. The other one is, for some reason, putting both arms up. The bodyguard behind Charlie steps aside, which might have enabled clear visual the shooter has been waiting for. So this person right here, if you look here, they're kind of blocking the shot here. Then you come down here, and they move this way a little bit to their right. The shot follows quickly after. The shooter might not have been able to move around freely and needed to stay right at the sweet spot, where he knew he would be least visible, most covered by person 1. Possibly person 2, the car, tent, and other people facing away from him. This is a close-up of the ponytail guy right here. And this is the vehicle that opened up and took the shot. Okay, let's do a quick recap. So vehicle opens trunk from behind Charlie Kirk, behind the tent, where none of his security is looking, right? They're all looking forward. And then the person gets in position when his guard kind of moves to the side, takes the shot, hits him in the occipital lobe, which causes the bullet to go downwards and hit the other vertebrae and sit under the skin. That also causes a pressure wave in his neck. And possibly actually hit the back of the necklace. The necklace, which is going down his neck with a pendant sitting on the right side.
You know what I mean? Like, shall we really believe this? Theory. I'm just saying. It seems pretty. Oh, Kamala. Josh, she has aged. What she said? The rule of law. What did Kamala say? The rule of law is very much under attack. Oh, okay.
We have seen the indictments of former FBI Director James Comey. The indictment just a few days ago of the Attorney General of New York, Letitia James.
Her book. She just dropped a book. 107 days. So she talking. Look, she talking as she should. Here it is. Here it is. This is the long one. He got a short one. Look, he got a shorter one, child.
In 1989, Houston private investigator Joe West launched an independent investigation to find the true killers of President John F. Kennedy. After 3 years of disappointments and dead ends, financed at his own considerable
The problem was, because I had started watching it because it was Saturday. I was like, ooh, conspiracy theory Saturday. Child, he started naming them names, Lord. And I was Googling people. I'm like, who is this and who is that? He got mob boss over here, mob boss over there. It was the Oswald for me.
West suddenly received a tip from an unexpected source, an FBI agent who asked to remain nameless. The tip led Joe West to Joliet State Penitentiary and a prisoner named James E. Files. Files, who was serving time for shooting an Illinois police officer, was at first reluctant to talk. Slowly and meticulously, West established a relationship with Files. Through months of personal visits and detailed correspondence, Files began to reveal his participation in the JFK assassination.
But see, I guess that's sort of my conspiracy theory about it, because and this is the private investigator, Mr. West, but how do you know? How did you know that Files had anything to do with it? You see what I mean? Like, I mean, he's a private investigator, sure, but at the same time, I'm just trying to figure out, how did you know definitively that Files had anything to do with the assassination? It just reminded me of Charlie Kirk. It really did. It really did. And I'm going to just call it a night. It's 1 o'clock. I'm going to just call it a night. My brain will become so overwhelmed, especially when it comes to Charlie Kirk. I just have to give myself a break, because you'll just rabbit hole. Look, I'm yawning. It's one rabbit hole after another. One rabbit hole after another. Look at Marjorie Taylor Greene over there with Tim Dillon. I'm tempted. See what I mean? I'm tempted, but I gotta chill, you guys. Like, I have to chill. I can't. What was Carla Red? I can't. Listen, I can't keep jumping down all of these rabbit holes. You got the David and Celeste rabbit hole. Obviously, you got the Charlie Kirk rabbit hole. Don't forget Luigi Mangione. Don't forget the Epstein. And then, you know, even right around 9/11, you get the 9/11 conspiracy, and then it gets to lingering. You got the Gaza and Israel, all they drama, and, you know, maybe possibly kind of sort of a little bit coming to a peace deal almost. We thinking about it. Well, I mean, it just be a lot trying to maintain your sanity, honey. Because Hold on real quick.
James believes keeping a close
Before
watch
before I retire to my post, his manager, this dude manager just said that he went and got.
If someone threw a firearm in the canal, it's a search. Did you throw a firearm in the canal? Assert. You told the police that Cortland Henry was at the field looking for the gun, correct? Assert. Wait, what? He told the police that? You told the police that Jamel Demons, Windham Melly, was in the field looking for the gun, correct? Assert. How did Jamel Demons know where the gun was if he was not on the scene at the time of the shootings? Assert. Why would a storage shed be rented on the day of the murder? Assert. That's so sus. You know what would have been needed to be painted the day after Mr. Thompson was Jones were murdered? Assert. In a newly released deposition, YNWL's manager, Hunter K. Track, refused to answer questions. It's revealed that Track was previously interviewed by the police and admitted they went out to a field to retrieve a gun the day after the murders. And to make it even worse, bank records show he purchased a storage unit the day after the murders and hired a painter to paint something. This is a longer video, but it's very important because a lot of red flags pop up. This is Hunter K. Track, Melly's manager, asserting his Fifth Amendment right and refusing to answer very important questions about the murder. Stick around for the full video, hit subscribe, let's go boys. Alright, here we go, start the deposition for Melly's manager, Damison Francois, or Hunter K. Track. Direct examination by John Phillips for the families. He got involved in the rap game at 16 years old. He worked with Kodak Black when he was 17 years old for Sniper Gang Apparel, Kodak's like merch line. He found Melly through like Instagram shit. John Phillips brings up New Era Recording Studio, the studio where they were all at before the murders, before they left in the cars. He started some sort of grills place, making grills and shit, I guess trying to sell grills to rappers, like the jewelry or whatever. He's gonna start playing a lot of videos because Track took a lot of interviews, remember? Track did like an interview tour as YNW Melly's manager. So dumb, when your artist is facing life in prison, you go on an interview tour and answer questions. First minute we played, is that true? Yes. So you indicate that the Melly account wasn't YNW Melly at the time. I don't think so, it was Melly. I don't think he put YNW, they rep YNW, but it wasn't like that, no. When did he strategically, more aggressively, probably adopt and brand YNW? It just came just as him growing and just realizing he needs something else, because before he was like, when you put Melly, everything else pops up, so YNW by YNW Melly. Talking about Adam 22, because he went on No Jumper and got an interview. Did you get access to Jamel's social pretty early on? I believe his mom had his phone with the social media, so I was able to either give it to her to post. I don't remember if she gave me the phone, it was one of them, like he had his phone out here. John Phillips says, because I'm a white guy, I'm going to limit, because it's culturally, offensive. I'm in a weird spot. If I say the N word, you understand what I'm referring to. So he's talking about reading the N word somewhere. Yeah. YNW word, okay, I got you. If I say it, we're cool? No, I'm offended right now, John. I'm done with the Zoom. All right, now I'm playing, go ahead. See you in court. So do you know where young N-World came from? He actually says it. No, that was something they had. Does it go back to Juvie, Sack Chaser, Dre Green, and Jamel, Melly, and Gifford as early teenagers? You said what? Doesn't YNW and Young N-World date back to when Jay Green, Melly, Sack, and Juvie were all in the streets and Gifford as teenagers? I wouldn't be able to speak on that because I don't know. Okay. Talking about Vlad TV again. There's another outlet like No Jumper, just a media outlet. Did Jamel, Bortland, and Sack call you when they were pulled over on June 30th, 2018? Objection. He asserts his Fifth Amendment right. I'm not talking about the murders, I'm talking about June 30th. Yeah, I'm still going to assert. Jesus. Anyone talk about June or whatever. I think they got arrested for drugs early on. Brings up Mariah Hamilton, Melly's girlfriend. According to the police report, Demons was with Mr. Withers, Williams, and Henry. Does that refresh your recollection? Assert, okay. Are you familiar with that Gucci bag? Assert. Do you know what he usually kept in that Gucci bag? Assert. Have you ever possessed the Gucci bag? Assert. On that day, Mr. Demons possessed, or in the occupants of the vehicle, a red backpack. Are you familiar with the red backpack? Assert. Are you familiar with what was in the red backpack? Assert. So what's happening here is, when Melly got in the cars the night of the murders, he had a handbag on it.
Right.
This Gucci handbag that they're talking about. And I think the lawyer's trying to get the point across that there was a gun in there, because there's been a gun in there in the past when they were pulled over. To the channel, please hit subscribe. I appreciate the support. Bye.
I don't know if I'm gonna be able to handle this one here, cause who was talking last time? The driver. I think the driver. This, it's one of them cases, especially with Cuff Boys. You know, he'll be on it. Remember, Dirk got pushed to sometime 2026. Diddy just got his 4 years, and who else? Oh, Tory Lanez. He just finished his appeal. We're just, kind of waiting for an update on the appeal with Mr. Daystar Peterson. And then, you got Dirt Banks, Sean Combs. I feel like it's somebody else that I'm missing, but I can't really think of it right now. I don't know why I feel like it's somebody else, but anyway, Miller Child. Oh yeah, it was, because remember he was originally scheduled for September, and then he got pushed back and got a new team. Listen, oh my goodness, this one right here gave me a headache. This one right here gave me a real headache. Trying to follow this one, trying to keep up with it, trying to catch up with it, because I ain't had to keep up. I had to catch up first before I could actually keep up. And oh my goodness. Oh, just knowing that he's been in solitary confinement for how long? I'm like, I thought that was a violation of people something rights to be in solitary confinement for that long. But I don't know what y'all here in Florida, so it hit different over there with them. I think it's some civil rights, I believe. But you can't tell Florida nothing. They act like they be in their own little world. I don't know what was going on. It was something with Raven. And she's not currently being investigated, but it's still an active and open case. They kept playing racquetball with that foolishness. Okay, give us your discovery. They don't want to give us the discovery. It was just, it was ridiculous. But he should have let that team go a long time ago. He should have been let them go. I don't know why he waited to the very last minute to let his legal team go and find a new one. I'm like, well, the judge told you that when, cause they they're gonna bring that up with Raven, Liberty, the lady lawyer. They was gonna bring it up, so I don't know why he was trying to hold on to him with that conflict of interest. Just another reason. But what I did know was that he had already got a mistrial, and so they trying him again. I'm like. And so he been in solitary confinement because what, witness tampering or something like that. It's just ridiculous at this point. It really is. And I want to say maybe like last week or a couple of weeks ago, the driver of the vehicle, we had went through his deposition. And so now here go the manager. I'm like, oh, Lord. He over there talking about he didn't really say it, but somehow they knew about it. You know what I mean? Like, they know about this. I don't know if he did it or not. I don't know. I wouldn't tell y'all. But he had called somebody to come and pick him up. He had texted somebody. That's what it was. He had texted somebody, and he got it on. He went through it on his channel. Child, Fredo Bang, Lord have mercy. That's who it was. He had called Fredo Bang to come pick him up. And they were trying to ask him if he had blood on him. They were asking Fredo Bang if YNW Mello had blood on him. He had called him to get a ride. And then now he go to manager. Like, you see what I mean? I don't know. I really don't. But what I do know is that 2 young men lost their lives. Somebody did it. But and the lawsuit got dismissed. So I'm gonna go and lay down because there's way too much going on in these YouTube streets. And that's what, listen, don't just be scrolling, honey. Get your camera out and, give your commentary. I'm trying to, be active without getting all these copyright claims, Lord, because the music, I'm not doing that. And then I have to remember to change log out of my channel, because he have my algorithm all screwed up when he get the iPad. Technically, I was supposed to have been charging because it was here the whole time, and I wasn't even charging it. But that was pretty much it. See, I'm trying to be an active participant in these YouTube streets. I told myself, hey, don't worry about having the best camera. Don't worry about having the best lighting. Don't worry about, having the best backdrop or whatever. Don't worry about everything being all perfect and, picture perfect and all of that stuff. Just start. Because what I realize is that on YouTube, there's room for everybody. Literally, there's room for everybody. And so this is just one way that I have learned to contribute. We will explore many different ways to utilize and offer our contribution capabilities to YouTube, because believe it or not, we always on here all day, every day, nonstop, constantly. And so there is no playing music, even if it says that the music is royalty free, copyright free, they lying, because it's not. So don't believe it. Just don't play no music in the background while you're live streaming, because you'll get a copyright claim. Now, technically, the copyright claims state that this is not a copyright strike. It's just a claim. But, if you're one of those people where it's going to, like, mentally affect you, I probably wouldn't even bother with, the hassle. Unless, of course, you make your own music. You see what I mean? And so that may just be something that I'll do. I may, like how David did. Remember what his mom said? not playing music, not being able to play music, you know, with his little Fortnite and stuff like that. I'm finna put my bonnet on, so I need to protect my edges, that's all. To play your own, you could create your own music, so that way you'll be able to play, because believe it or not, I cannot concentrate. Luckily, the fans are blowing in the background, which it sounds like white noise. But if you have enough fans blowing, it'll have the same sound effect. And so, see what I mean? Look, I may start making music, John, just so that way I don't have to worry about all of these copyright claims that I've had to endure. And don't worry, I downloaded all of my live streams, even though I did delete them. I edited one of them. I just took out the end part of it and just re-uploaded the part where I wasn't playing Bad Bunny, Slow Down Reverb, Moscow Mule. So, which is totally fine. I ain't even complaining. We're getting back into the swing of it. And then, of course, most importantly, we're live streaming. People love when you live stream, John. They can check in, they can pop in and out, see you live, see what you're talking about, see what you're looking like, you know. And then, of course, you confirm with the universe that you're still alive. So it's a win-win situation, if you ask me. And I'm not gonna complain. I know soon, one day soon, I'm gonna come on here and retwist these locks. So stay tuned. Stay tuned. Now I don't have to record it. I can just go live and do it. So you're welcome. We'll be using the same product just for melanin. So don't worry. Don't worry. A little shea butter and a little coconut oil goes a long way when you're trying to strengthen those roots, especially when it comes to the weather change here. Coming up on fall. So I'm just hydrating it since it's finna go up under this cap for a little bit. My edges will start to irritate themselves under that cap. And so if you're a person that struggles with your edges, it's probably something you look into. Because, listen, it's hard out here in these streets when it comes to them edges, trust me. But once you get them, at least look, once you get them back, ooh, it hit different. It hit different. And so, I like to have a little benediction before I get on up out of here. You know, we had a few people stop through during the live. I definitely appreciate everybody who came through, tapped through. I definitely appreciate everybody who hit the like button. That always helps, of course. That always helps for sure. And so I'm grateful for everybody that did stop through just to support the live. Like, because I was over there live streaming on Tagged. And, you know, they don't tell you when people leave, but they do tell you when people come in and stuff like that. And so you do have those times, those days, those moments when there's no one in your live stream, you know, and you gotta figure it out. you gotta entertain yourself. And so Come on here, find me something to watch. Find me something to do. I want to get me one of them exercise bikes. And so that'll be something that I could do as well, exercise. I ordered my book. Well, I ordered a book for myself. My birthday is coming up here this Thursday, October 16th. So for one, Shanti's birthday was yesterday, Monday, because we're on Tuesday now. And then Stephen A. Smith birthday today, Usher birthday today, Keisha Cole birthday tomorrow, and then Thursday you got Naomi Osaka, her birthday, Kim Wayans, her birthday, and then we got a new person that just joined the list for October 16th. We have who was that? King Cairo. Now that's Angela and I'm gonna find his name. Let me log in real quick. Cause you know them birthday shout outs. They go a long way. But I forgot his government name. Let me look him up real quick. And then let me pull up my calendar. I got Stephen A. Smith. I got Usher for today. Kim Wayans. Let me look him up, John. Oh, look, Michael Ray. And that last name, or that middle name, Guyan Stevenson or something like that. That's Michael Ray Angela's son, King Cairo. His birthday is Thursday, along with, and then, I did not know Lavita Alizé Jenkins Robinson birthday was on the 16th as well. That's Terry J. Vaughn, like John. In case you know Lavita Alizé Jenkins Robinson. Her birthday's on the 16th as well. And then Andre Leon Talley. I didn't know he was Manute. Manute Bowl, his birthday is on the 16th as well. So we did do a little research for our birthday on the 16th. And we did find some new people. Now we know Kim and we know Naomi. I think Kim, this is probably her third year I've known her birthday, and I think Naomi, I think this may be her second year that I've known her. Really going on her third too, but we got some new people on the list for October 16th. So shout out to them. You know, I had looked up celebrity birthdays on the 16th, and you know, I had to refresh my search. I'm like, okay, black celebrities, please, because I don't know them. It's no shame. Look, that's some new people. I don't know Andre Leon Talley, but come to find out, American fashion journalist and the former American editor-at-large of Vogue magazine. He was the magazine's fashion news director from 1983 to 1987. And then its creative director from 1988 to 1995. He has authored 3 books, including 2 memoirs, and co-authored a book with Richard Bernstein. Goodness gracious. With Richard Bernstein. Talley has also served as the international editor of the Russian fashion magazine Numero. It looks like Numero. Talley is the son of Alma Ruth Davis and William C. Talley, a taxi driver. At least one grandfather was a sharecropper. His parents left him with his maternal grandmother, Benny Francis Davis, who worked as a cleaning lady at Duke University in Durham, North Carolina. She raised him, with Tally saying he was given from her an, quote, understanding of luxury, and for whom he has expressed since her death, quote, I miss her almost every day. He grew up in the Jim Crow era. Okay, hold on, because this is a lot. They got like a whole little essay. Tally advised the Obama family on fashion, introducing Michelle Obama to the Taiwanese Canadian designer Jason Wu, from whom she bought several dresses, including her inaugural gown. Tally's favorite recent pairings have been with designers Tracy Reese, Rachel Roy, and singer-actress Jennifer Hudson. He's a friend of pop diva Mariah Carey, fashion designer Kimora Lee Simmons, and tennis star Venus Williams. America's Next Top Model judging panel. Okay, he died of complications 2022 at the age of 73, heart attack. He has a extensive resume, honey. We got Wendy Williams, Disney's Hulu, something about a documentary, The Gospel According to Andre. Okay, he live blogged the Trump inauguration with New York Times columnist Maureen Dowd. So, oh, man. I just put the link so I wouldn't have to. And then, you know, you got, of course, your boy, Manute. And come to find out, 7 foot 7 inches. He was the tallest player in the history of the National Basketball Association. That is an interesting association. NBA. So, see, I did my little research and stuff. But I'm so sleepy. I'm ready to go to bed because you got to understand, as soon as I lay down, that cold gonna be looking for a breast. And so, I have to get myself to a stopping point, a closing point, a shutting down point before I get to him. Because I got to be ready when he ready. So in the meantime, in between time, okay, love you, bye.